All right, thanks, Tim. I'll try and keep this very short. Let's find out from one of the previous talks that in Ireland, busting for a drink is basically gender parity, and we're all wanting to get to the bar pretty quickly. And also to Andrew Large, who was complaining about his picture. At least he made the cut and got onto the slides. So, right, so I've been asked to redo the BC2 calculation tool. At the moment, the way I'm going to do it is it's going to be quite simple. You're going to set it up with a board grade list, hopefully with ECT values that you get from your supplier also. If you can't get the ECT value from a supplier, I can do a thing where it will calculate an ECT for you, so you can calculate BCTs. New to the tool that wasn't in the previous one is I also want to add in some price lists from your suppliers, so that when you get the BCT recommendations, it also gives you a cost implication as well, and perhaps also to allow you to modify and use your own McKee formula. I don't know if anybody has their own McKee formula or what they would like to use, but I'll allow that as well. So basically, a user will input some box details, length, width, depth, possibly the reference on a customer. You have to give it the environmental factors that your customer is using. So how is it palletized? How is it going to be stored? And if you want to do the cost implication, you also obviously put in a quantity so it can work out the board costs. The output would be BCT values in the order that meet the criteria and their equivalent costs. But potentially there's other things that I was thinking about using, and this is where I want the feedback as to what people want in that particular tool. I can do palletization, a bit like a Cape Light, so as if you don't really know how it's going to be palletized, at least the finished good's going to be palletized, that could calculate it for you. It might be we could add in things like where you can actually specify the papers that are going to be used in the board grades and use SCT values from that. And I have a long list of hundreds and hundreds of different papers. I don't know if that's a step too far or not, though. Do you want it to store a history and store the customer requirements so you can go back and look at it later? Do you want to do, instead of doing one box at a time, would you like a facility to do a mass calculation of like 100, 200 specs at a time? So it's just really, I guess what I would like to know, two questions. What would you like? And also maybe who would you foresee using it within your organization so that I can tailor it and customize it to that effect? Or does anybody care? Is anybody going to use it, in fact? Right. I'll show. Can you catch me later? And because I'll not make I'll make notes of all this one. Okay. Right.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So that would be one of the stress factors, I guess.
Yeah. Anything else? Who would use it? Who do you foresee using it within your organisation? If anybody. Who used the last one? A few. Right. Not a sales guy in front of a customer, but somebody further back in the chain. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, it will be imminent in the next sort of number of weeks. I suggest, Tim, that probably once it's been made available, that whoever wants to use it at that point, I could do a Zoom call with all the users who are going to use it, so they give a bit of training while in.
If you're very keen on it, if anybody would like to be the beta tester, that would be fantastic, because Derek Pack will put themselves forward. We'll be guinea pigs, but if anybody else has an interest in this area and give us your honest feedback, then we can polish it before we release the real version. So
Okay. Yeah.
that'd be very helpful. So grab Alan or myself if you're interested in helping that.
Alan, can I ask, will it be on nominal grade or actual paper?
Well, the way I put it up, you'd probably be best putting in actual, but it could be either, really, because you just tell the type of paper and the grammage. So if you know what the real grammage is, then I would suggest that's what you should be putting in. Yeah. Thanks for the slot and the long notice from Thursday evening that I was doing a slot. So, okay. Well, hopefully that will be with you soon, and I'll see you in the bar.